So a few years ago, this would have been the standard, for workstations, massive, heavy, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it, robust. This would have been what you would have been sold. If you go to the big marketplaces at the time, you go to eBay, you go to the hardware money shop, you go to Amazon, you would have been seeing these workstations there, because this, like I said, was pretty much the standard for workstations. These PCs were built with just one thing in mind, reliability, solid multitasking. And it doesn't matter, or it didn't matter, whatever you call this system at the time. We didn't have any AI then, so it wasn't a thing. But then for whatever you wanted to use this PC for graphic designing, for your project, it just was the standard for workstations. Everything was working, because, I'm not talking about the fact that today the world is pretty much used to a lot of, speed, a lot of power, a lot of stuff like that. This PC was just what everybody wanted to run to, and shortly after this, there actually was the HP Z240 workstation. It was already looking a little bit more modern, and as a matter of fact, it even looked a little bit lighter than the Z230. This Z230 was built, to be very, very robust. And when it came out a long time ago, people loved it. Loved it for the fact that it just was a PC that you could, go ahead and upgrade. It had, the PCIe slot that you wanted. The only thing that this PC didn't come with at the time was that it didn't have the M.2 slot. And at the time, to be honest, the M.2, wasn't really a thing. Although some PCs already had it, but it wasn't really a thing. It wasn't, something that was kind of trendy the way it is right now. Because right now, if you are looking at buying a PC, the first people want to ask, does the PC have an M.2 slot? Can I go ahead to install an NVMe drive on the PC? And if the answer is no, I'm sorry, they're going to leave that PC because nobody's interested. But this PC at the time gave you the opportunity to actually install, a SATA hard drive right here. If you can take a look, this is the SATA hard drive card. This gave you the opportunity to install that. And not only that, you also had the opportunity to install 2 HDD. As a matter of fact, the HDD card right here is missing, but I'm going to get that and put that in. You see, that was something that a lot of PCs couldn't do. Yes, some PCs could do it, but that would just mean that you needed to, maneuver your way, try to improvise and stuff like that. But this PC came in handy. Everything was ready for you. If you wanted to upgrade it, it was very, very easy. You didn't need to even watch any YouTube video, to upgrade it. Even though at the time, a lot of people did still make videos about you upgrading your HP Z230. It is what it is. People will always make videos, to show you how to do certain things, even if the thing is very, very easy to do. But then this PC actually did come with a very good processor. On this right now, we have, the Intel Core i7 4770 processor, one processor that was just, loved by the market. People loved it. People use it for gaming. It was a processor that was pretty much at loggerhead with the 3770. This PC was basically very, very interesting. Then it also gave you the possibility, for 2 display ports behind it and 1 VGA port. You see, a lot of the PC manufacturers have since stopped this kind of combination, which is, 2 display ports and 1 VGA. A lot of PCs that you see, in this generation and, moving forward tended to just have, 2 display ports and in some cases, 1 HDMI port and 1 display port. But then this PC right here still retains this, conventional combination of giving you the possibility to use a DVI. All right, I did check and I saw that on the Z240 workstation, you also had, the possibility of a DVI port right there. So this was decent. And the power supply in this case was also very massive. You could go ahead, to slap in your graphic card, huge thanks to the, 6-pin plugs that you have on the power supply. A lot of the PCs in this age didn't give you this possibility to do this. As a matter of fact, if you needed to, connect a graphic card, that needed a 6-pin plug, you needed to, bypass your way, look for some shortcuts and all that. At the end of the day, just wasn't what you were looking for. This PC was a very good PC. This one right here looks very, very dusty. I'm going to go ahead and clean it, but opening it up, I was kind of impressed, at the fact that things have since moved on. If you go to the market right now, go to the big marketplaces like Hardware Money Shop, you will see, more recent kind of workstation. Not to mean that this workstation right here won't be able to compete favorably with the new workstation that you have. But when I was taking a look at this, I was like, wow, it's amazing how the world have since moved on. There used to be a time where the PCs needed to be very, very heavy. Otherwise, nobody was going to take it from you. But right now, you pretty much can see workstations that are so light, even as light as a small form factor PC. This one right here is just not possible to lift it with one hand. And when I do, I'm definitely going to feel the pain. Of course, this is what it is. Things have since changed. In fact, right now, people prefer to have PCs as light as possible. I do not know where that came from, but yes, as things are changing, manufacturers are looking for a way to cut corners. The prices of materials are getting more expensive. Things are just going to be, getting lighter and lighter. And sometimes I ask myself, if in 2025 we already have workstations so light as a small form factor, what's going to happen in 20, 30 years from now? Perhaps we won't even have need for workstations anymore. AI will pretty much do everything. And whatever kind of PC you use, you will be able to find it. This is a decent PC right here. Of course, we've got decent, more recent workstations also from HP. But if you say to yourself, I do not care, I want to have a way, of just supporting the old tech, because you have found out that this old tech, there was really nothing wrong with these PCs, but because of the way the world is, we just want something new. We want to consume and keep consuming. We just keep craving for new stuff. But if you are that one person that says to yourself, I do not care if this is an old tech, but I feel like this processor, this PC, this RAM sticks you have here, everything you have this PC is exactly what you need. It will be able to deliver in terms of the kind of speed that you want, and the fact that you can actually go ahead and do whatever you have to do. My projects are not so complicated. I do not have, project that requires, a lot of pressure on the CPU or on the RAM sticks or even, the graphics of this PC. Then this PC is one PC that you can safely today go to the hardware money shop, pick it up without having to break your budget, because at the end of the day, it makes no sense. You buying a PC so expensive, you are so happy because your PC is so fast, but at the end of the day, you do not have money left in your account. So I want to encourage you today, if you're looking for something decent, something cheap, please visit the hardware money shop. You are going to find, a workstation like this, cheaper workstations even if this is what you want. But then there are also very high quality stuff we have there. This is a quality stuff. Do not be deceived. Visit the hardware money shop today. Click on the link in the description below and you will be glad you did. Until I see you again in the next one. Peace.